So this time we're gonna.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas! Whenever I answer the phone, I'm like, hello.
What pissed you off?
It's a great argument to have.
I love my mom, but I think she's half crazy for doing that.
How dare you?
Do you work with your girlfriend, Mark? Or your wife, Mark?
I keep them separated. Sometimes I call people, they don't answer the phone, I'm like, them.
Wrong number, click.
Well, he's not that smart. Sometimes he sounds like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Go.
Therefore, you're an ass, and I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah, but what do we know? Hi, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Christmas extravaganza.
Happy holidays. As you can see, we're all in the festive spirit.
Except you.
Mike with his lights, Mark with his Christmas tree, and me with
His
my scrubs on. Because some professions, you still have to work on the holidays. Granted, it's not the holiday yet, but you guys don't know that. Anyways. So, Christmas extravaganza, guys.
Christmas extravaganza.
So, what did we do for Thanksgiving?
We did a bracket.
A bracket? I think people liked the bracket. I liked the bracket. Did you guys like the bracket?
I liked it for sure.
Yeah, let's do a bracket.
Let's do a bracket.
Mark seems way less enthusiastic.
Mark's like, yeah, bracket, okay. Let's do this stuff again. Bracket. Are you guys ready? I don't even know what it is. I have it ready to go on the screen, but I didn't look at it.
I am.
This is What Do We Know? This is Mark.
Oh, this is Mike.
I'm Jeff.
And this is What Do We Know?
We guys know that already, though. So here we go. Down to the bracket. And by the way, if you're just listening to us, go to wdwkpodcast.com to listen, or go to youtube.com/wdwkpodcast, and you can see us in all our festive spirit.
Yeah.
Bracket number 1 coming on once I get the logo off the front of the bracket. And there it is. Bracket number 1. We are live.
Oh, wait. I gotta see what bracket you posted first.
It was number 1, the top one on the list of brackets that you sent to me.
Oh, well, I didn't pay attention to that list.
Read it. So it starts with, it's not titled, so it starts
I got it.
with, okay.
Yeah, I got it. All right. So, this is the least favorite things about the holiday. So we're starting off on a negative note, apparently.
Yeah.
The least favorite. Now, Mark, you're not even looking at the bracket. I just realized. So you could probably, how did we do this last time?
I just read them.
You just read them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the bad things about the holiday. We're going to find out the worst thing about the holiday first. I guess that's probably a good idea. Get the negative out of the way, and then we'll move on to happier things. So, all right. So here we go. We got 8 participants again, and on our least favorite things about the holiday. Number 1, family. Hanging out with family. We all have that family who we only hang out with on holidays, and it's out of necessity, and they tend to be somewhat annoying and or crazy. And we have that we put up family against excessive Christmas music, because everyone knows by the time Christmas rolls around, well, maybe not in Japan, but Mark knows the feeling, I'm sure.
No, it happens in Japan. Not everywhere. Just like when you go to like some small shops or restaurants, you'll hear a lot of English Christmas music.
So, point of clarification on this then, we're voting for what we think is the most annoying, correct?
Yes, correct.
Most annoying.
Most annoying.
When music. You say family, are you specifically talking about that crazy family that you only see around Christmas time, or are you talking about any type of family you want to go with?
I think it should just be like the whole family package. Like, I think everybody probably has some like close family that they enjoy spending time with, but you're also forced to hang out with the not so close family that you're obligated to see, but it's more of a chore than it is.
And on top of that, it's not necessarily like, oh, you know, your aunt is awful and your uncle's nice. Sometimes you have like an awesome aunt and an awesome uncle, but put those two together in a room and then all heck breaks loose.
Because they got divorced 3 years ago, and now
And
they're
they're
together
drunk,
again.
And they have, they're
And,
bringing
not-
their
and your
girlfriends.
uncle's drinking the eggnog out of the bathtub, and
Right, right.
yeah.
Wondering why Aunt Sally had that affair with that mailman.
Who's now here at the party as well?
Who's
as her
now-
dates.
Who is now your new uncle?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be very awkward for sure.
See, that's the part I like about the holiday. It's so fun. To
awkward
watch
familyness?
that drama unfolds.
Oh, man.
You make it interesting.
No, I actually don't have that much awkward family drama. So, I have the issue with this one that I grew up in a family of my mother was a nurse, my father was a police officer, and therefore they worked a lot of holidays because that was overtime. We never celebrated the holidays like on holidays. So everybody else doing their whole crazy Christmas stuff, we were never doing that crazy Christmas stuff. So I never had to deal with the crazy family part.
I would have to say that I don't really have that crazy of a family, and because I live in Japan, I would actually love the opportunity to see my family. So I would have to go with Christmas music. Sorry.
Well, it sounds like we already have a winner in this one.
Well, I haven't mentioned anything about Christmas music yet. I was just saying that I don't have to deal with that family aspect of things.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'll go ahead and go here. So, excessive Christmas music is bad. Like, there's only so many times you can hear, the 12 Days of Christmas, for example.
But before you know what the lyrics actually are,
It's
or
crazy.
still
8
never
maids
know.
of milking and whatnot. However, I, unlike you guys, have a lot of family drama that gets crazy around the holidays. Always. And I always feel obligated to go do these things, even though I know half the time they're going to be a nightmare.
Right.
And so when you put them up against each other, like, I like hanging with a lot of my family, but there's some that I don't. But then the excessive Christmas music, I feel like, especially nowadays with like streaming, internet radio and things, most of the time you can turn off the Christmas music, but you can't escape that crazy family element for me. There's no getting away from it. I've tried for 15 years now, ever since I moved out of, my...
Well, I know about your crazy family.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I'm going to go with family on this one.
So right now
Okay.
we're tied.
What were you going to say, Mark? Did you have a story?
I was gonna say that I remember the time that I went over to I don't know if it was your grandmother's
It
house
was
for
my grandmother's
Thanksgiving,
house. Yeah.
and your grandma was going on to you about how proud she was that you weren't embarrassed to bring me over for the holidays, and you were thinking, oh my gosh, she thinks I'm gay because I brought my male friend over for Thanksgiving, and it wasn't that at all. She was just a little bit racist. She was like, oh, I'm glad you could bring your Asian friend. You're not embarrassed to have an Asian friend.
Mike's grandma's okay with the gays. The Asians, on the other hand.
No, she was saying how she was okay with me being Asian.
Right. She was glad that I knew that she would be accepting enough for me to bring an Asian fellow over for the holidays.
I remember. Never mind. I don't even get into it. So
About my family?
no, I was actually going to say something about like your grandmother apparently immediately noticed that Mark was Asian and how nice it was for you to bring an Asian guy over to the house. I knew Mark for years. I had met his mom like multiple times, who is this white lady. And the first time Mark told me he was adopted, I was like, "You're adopted?" Like, I had absolutely no idea. My mind was like blown that Mark was adopted. I don't. It's not that it was a single mother who was raising him. So
Yeah.
I don't know if at the time if I just didn't see things as race or if I just assumed that maybe like your
I had
mom
an
and
Asian
dad had
father.
gotten divorced at some point. Like
Right.
I don't even know what I was thinking, but I was like, "You're adopted?" Like,
Well, Mike didn't know I was adopted either until like I knew him for like years, and he came over to my house and he was like, "Why is there an old white lady here?" My mother. Oh
See?
yeah, I'm adopted.
see, I had met her multiple times before though, as your mother, not
Yeah.
But either back to the family versus excessive Christmas music. I will say that you do bring up a good point that the Christmas music is extremely excessive, and I would want to say that I can deal with it, but people at work, now that it's the Christmas season, they'll throw their phones up on the table and have Christmas music playing, which normally I wouldn't mind. The problem is they must not have a big selection, or maybe the channel that they go to on like Spotify or whatever isn't that good, because we work together for 12 hours at a time, and when I'm next to you and hear the same 3 songs for 12 hours over and over and over again, it gets a little bit old.
Right.
So I think I'm going to have to go with my least favorite thing is excessive Christmas music. There's Christmas songs that I love and I only get to hear around Christmas time, but some things get so old so fast.
No, because we talked about how, like, Black Friday's encroaching on like Thanksgiving. Christmas music is starting to be played before Thanksgiving, and that drives me nuts.
It drives me nuts too. Don't get me wrong; they're both crazy, frustrating. So all right. So Christmas music won.
Christmas music won.
All right.
Let me update the bracket here. You guys can continue reading the next one. Oops.
All right, number 2, Mark. How about you go first on this one? We'll see what happens. What actually, you went first. Right? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's all arbitrary. All right. Okay. Second matchup. Christmas traveling versus weight gain.
Christmas traveling versus weight gain?
Yeah.
You mean like
you eat way too much during the holidays?
You don't mean like Cartman in South Park where he gets his the big tub of weight gain 4,000 or whatever to bulk up.
Well, no, this is more like I've eaten 6 pounds of gingerbread in the past 2 weeks. And I've also tipping the scales 15 pounds heavier.
So this is like the regret after the holidays.
Right, of just gorging for usually, Christmas is kind of stretched out further and further every year, it feels like. I still have to go into work for 2 days next week before my break, but I won't be accomplishing much. You know what I mean? I'll be there physically, but mentally I checked out this afternoon sometime after I left work, I think. So
at least you waited until after you left work to check out. And I don't normally wait that long.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad I hear a nurse say that.
Yeah, I mean, don't be a patient after 6 o'clock. I don't know what to tell you.
Let me just stick this needle on, check you out.
I think that's the medication the doctor ordered. Yep. Pretty sure.
Either way, it'll make you feel something.
Close enough.
It'll make you feel better, worse, dead, not something. I don't know.
Yeah, something. His condition will change, that's for sure.
I kind of like the travel. I like the travel only because since I don't live around my family and a lot of my friends, that when I do have the travel happening, it's for me, I don't think about going from this to this house to this house to this house to meet up. Like when I lived at home in Michigan and was dating people and would have to go to their, we got to go to my grandmother's house, and we got to go to my parents' house, and we got to go here, then we got to go there. Since I didn't do that as my family thing, that got annoying, but I don't deal with that now either, so that's good. Except for I do got to say, Julia keeps asking me if I'm going to go to Ohio with her and visit her family.
Whoa.
And I'm like, I wouldn't mind going to Ohio with her, but I need to... I want to make my own plans for where I'm going to go when it's, especially because that's not like we're going somewhere for a couple hours. That's we're going somewhere for a couple days.
Wait, you have met her family before?
Oh yeah, I've met her family before.
Okay, so it's not like anything like a special.
No. It's just that if I have time off, I want to go back to Michigan not only to see my family, but I want to go. I'm on the ski patrol there still. I want to go get my hours in, hit the ski hill, do some snowboarding, do the things that I want to do. I can't do any of that stuff if I'm there. Not that I don't want to see her family, but I have limited time off, so when it looks like I might have some time off for the holiday, it's now like, oh, are you gonna come with me then to see my family? And I'm like, that wasn't in the plans, because I didn't know I was gonna have this time off in the first place. So I think I will have to go with travel. Actually, I talked myself into going with travel as I was about to say it was the weight gain.
I don't gain a lot of weight, so It does that, and my weight doesn't really bother me. But I do have to travel
Are we
quite a
all
long time
so
from
happy with
Japan to
ourselves?
Michigan. The 12-hour flight is probably going to be much worse than any weight gain that I get during the holiday.
Wait, are you going back to Michigan for Christmas?
No, no.
Well, what argument are you having then?
No, but for
When it does, it's awful.
not 2 Christmas ago, I went back home.
So for the one time you came back from Japan in the last 3 years, that's what you're talking about.
Well, if we're counting like traveling to see family, that would be what I would have to say. It's the 12-hour flight from Japan to Michigan. If we're just talking about traveling during the holidays, I actually like it because my wife and I would go to like Tokyo and some fun places, but we don't see family. But I'm assuming that you're saying traveling to see family.
Yeah, that's kind of what I had in mind because I think most people, in some regard, do a lot of traveling to see family. Like, for me, I mean, when you have kids, oh my goodness, because all the grandparents want to see them, and you have to do Christmas with everybody, and like my family is split, so I have my mom's side and my dad's side, and then my oldest daughter. I had in a previous relationship, so I have to work out time with her, and of course my mom and my dad both want to see her, so then I have to try to work that Christmas around the time that I have my oldest daughter, and it's like we're nonstop running just all the time.
So why don't you just host 2 different Christmases?
Well, then we go back to the first category on this bracket where I have to try to convince my family to come down without being badmouthed later because I'm making them travel so far during their holiday season,
Just tell them
debacle.
you'll play excessive Christmas music while everybody's together and ensure that everybody gains lots of weight.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, for me personally, it's traveling, I think. I mean, I guess I shouldn't jump to a conclusion so fast because the listeners probably don't know, but over the past year and a half or so, I've dropped 30 pounds.
Yay, Mike!
Yay, good job.
So I'm working on it. So the holiday, I've already noticed, like this holiday season more so than last. I think it was because last Christmas I was really seeing like the pounds fall off, and then once you reach a point, especially I started lifting weights and things rather than just dieting and running on a treadmill, then the pounds stop coming off as fast, but you're developing more muscle, that kind of thing, so you don't really see the results as far as pounds go. So the weight thing is, I'm eating worse for sure, but I feel like I've developed enough good habits where it's less of a problem now. So I think I have to go with the traveling.
Okay, Fatty.
So
he said traveling.
traveling. Everybody likes getting fat. That's what we've decided. Okay.
That's right. All right, so the third matchup is Christmas season materialism versus, well, I guess this is kind of regional, but cold weather.
Those are interesting things to combine together.
Exactly, because they're both kind of weird. Both kind of weird. And
So
probably.
what do you got?
Yeah, go for it,
Go
Mike.
first, Jeff.
Well, I went
Right.
first last time. I gotta
Yeah.
spread the wealth. It's Christmas cheer or holiday cheer.
So, materialism is an ugly thing, but I feel like in America, we're kind of
Christmas
accustomed
special.
to it. We're kind of accustomed to it at this point, right? And it definitely amps up around Christmas for sure. But for me in Michigan, like this is not really a contest, especially coming off of last winter, where Mark, I don't know if you know, Jeff, I don't even know how much you know. You probably know.
Yeah, the
But-
ice storm. I was there for the ice storm.
Last winter, the whole winter was horrible. We had snow every single day, and it was like 15, 20 degrees below zero for I don't know how many weeks straight. Like it was super cold and super snowy and it was horrible.
Right.
And like being trapped inside your house for all those winter months is just like I'm somebody who wants to be out putzing in my garage or in my backyard or whatever. And
Or on the ski hill.
it was I've never gone skiing. I've always thought that was something I wanted to do.
People who live in Michigan who don't do any winter sports hate the cold weather. Well, you live in a state that has it half the time. Learn some winter sports.
Oh.
Your problem, Mike, is you're not material enough to own the equipment to go skiing.
You have to have on-brand snowboards, okay?
Well, no, I like ice skating, and still, I actually took Jacob, my boy, last year, and my oldest daughter, and we had a good time. I still like doing things outdoors, but ice skating outside when it's 15 degrees or something is way different than like last winter when it was so cold, like it hurt your face walking into the driveway to get in your car. Like it was bad. So I'm definitely cold weather is way worse for me.
How about you, Jeff? Sounds like you're the opposite.
I mean, I like cold weather. Personally, I don't want to live with it all the time. I like living in a place like Michigan because I like having different seasons of the year to enjoy different aspects of, what it has to offer. But I do a lot of things in the winter. I'm a snowboarder. I'm a skier. I'm a sledder, maybe, or something. I don't know. I have a remote start on my car, so that makes me enjoy the cold weather because I feel all toasty when I get into it.
You still have to walk into work, though.
I do, and yes, it gets cold, but I kind of like the coldness. Yes, I dislike it when it gets too cold and I'm freezing and et cetera, but
traffic accidents and
I like driving in the snow. I don't mind it at all. I think it's good when I know how to do it, which I do. I lived out here through Snowmageddon as well. I live out here through a drop of snow on the ground and watch people like drive 2 miles an hour and still go spinning off into the ditch. It doesn't make any sense. Like I don't get it.
I totaled a car in the snow one year.
Yeah, I don't get it out here in DC, but in Michigan, I don't know. I like the cold weather, so I'd have to go with materialism. Bad materialism.
See, and I'm sort of at a toss-up right now because I don't really mind the cold weather, and I don't really mind materialism either. I would say the only thing that knocks materialism is it's really annoying having to try to find gifts for other people, and it's not quite the same thing as materialism, but like I'm still trying to think of a decent gift to give my mother.
I'm just thinking
cold weather.
This time of year, like people become obsessed with things.
Right. Well, I'm just saying it's sort of a hassle, like having to buy all these gifts for your family and friends, and sometimes you just sort of like, oh, I really like Thanksgiving because you don't have to buy people stuff. You don't have to think of anything besides what you're gonna make and what you're gonna eat. Well, that's why I like Thanksgiving better than Christmas.
That's not true because in America, at least, Black Friday is like the thing now. And actually, I was at Walmart at 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving night buying a 50-inch TV.
So you're basically saying that Thanksgiving is just the meal preparing you for the Christmas season.
Yeah,
to get all that shopping energy for the materialistic goods in the cold that you have to buy for people.
That's when it kicks in for sure. It's Black Friday.
But you were saying how annoyed you are when it snows a lot and it's freezing cold. I think what I really hate about the cold is doesn't necessarily mean there'll be snow on the ground. And like we actually had maybe like a foot of snow here just like last week, but it's all melted now, and now it's just cold and it looks like, crap outside. It's not snowy. It's just cold and brown.
I do get very annoyed when it's super cold and there's no snow. Because in my opinion, if it's cold, it might as well just be snowy to enjoy the actual like winter aspect of things. I can agree with that.
I worked outside in 2 jobs now when I was much younger. Well, and this isn't really outside, but I mudded and taped drywall. And, they're in houses that aren't heated, so you have something blocking the wind. But then at the job I'm at now, like that was where I started off, was working outside, and I did that for, I don't know, 6 or 8 years, something like that.
So now you're inside. You're like, screw them.
Yeah, well, no, it goes back to what you were talking about. I never minded the snow. In fact, I always liked snow way more than I liked cold rain. because the
Right.
rain just soaks into your clothes and it's miserable. But the ridiculous cold was
Right.
what always just made your life miserable.
So I'm gonna have to go with cold because cold doesn't guarantee snow.
Ah, cold weather. Man, is that going to be my rolls of this bracket? It might be.
Oh, I haven't even been keeping track of this.
Oh,
So,
don't worry, I got it.
well, I can't read the next round. You're going to have
Nope.
to do that.
Well, we still have one more round on this side.
All right.
Or one more
Okay.
matchup on this side.
All right, one more matchup then. Here we go. We have overspending versus shopping, which I know that's kind of close to materialism, but the actual getting out, and again, maybe Mark hasn't dealt with this in a while, but like around here, you can't even go to a grocery store at this time of year without just the traffic and it being crazy busy because people are gearing up for Christmas parties and like every store you ever go to is packed. Like the roundabouts, Jeff, that you know that are near me by the
Right.
shopping plaza out there. I had to drive through them on my way home from work, and to get into the shopping plaza, the roundabouts were backed up so bad that for me to go through them to get away from the shopping plaza, I had to wait because there was a line of traffic trying to go into the shopping plaza.
Do you think
I'd
that was
never
because
seen them
people didn't know
before.
how to use the roundabout?
No, I've never seen them before in the 3 years I've lived there. Where traffic was literally stopped, like it was just backed up all through all three roundabouts trying to get into this shopping plaza. So shopping is a miserable experience this time of year. And I guess that being said, I remember the overspending part of it too, especially when I was much younger and I owned my home and I didn't make very much money, but I still had a child that I was trying to make a good, happy, memorable Christmas for. Like I remember that January credit card bill coming and it being like, oh no, what did I do?
Seemed like a
remember
good
that.
idea at the time.
Right, exactly. I was like, it was worth it, to see her smile Christmas morning, but then after
Now,
that, the reality painfully
I
set in.
I can't say from experience from your side, but I'm sure my mom had this experience where she bought me a gift that she thought was great, and I'm like, "Oh, thanks, mom."
On the next, yeah.
And I'm sure my mom thought like that was $50 I just spent for that. No reaction, right? I'm
Right.
sure you get that every once in a while, Mike.
Oh yeah, oh for sure. Yeah, like, and especially my kids now are reminding me, because my youngest two are Jacob is 4 and Rachel is like 1.5. It's like they get these presents from holiday parties, and then it's the things like they play with the box that the thing came in. Like, I mean, literally, we just had a Christmas last weekend, and Rachel is a girl's girl from the word
Right.
go. Like, I mean, ever since she was very young, she wanted baby dolls, and she wanted to help mom, like, do the dishes, like whatever mom was doing, that was what she wanted to do, and so she got this little. It's like a I don't know, a cleaning lady trolley or something that has like a slot to put a little plastic broom and mop and a scrubbing brush and
Whoa.
A cleaning lady trolley.
yeah, whatever that
Like a
thing's
janitor's cart.
called. Yeah, janitor's cart. Yeah, that thing. So
I call it that next time I see our environmental services people at work. I'm gonna be like, "Why are you bringing that cleaning lady trolley in here?"
that sounded sexist. I don't believe that women should be cleaning all the time. All right, anyways, so Rachel got that and she pushed it around for a while and she liked it. But then both of my children, my younger children, got playing in the box. And that lasted a good hour. That they were just
Right.
putting things in the box and shutting the lid, and then the other one would go up and open it. Ah! Look what's in the box. They played with that thing much longer than any of the actual gifts they got.
Right. That happens probably a lot.
So what
Sure.
are you going with, though?
Well, I'm going with shopping. because I've reached a point in my life where the overspending, you know, we're pretty financially secure for the most part and more smart as far as spending goes. So we don't really overextend ourselves. However, if I want to go to the grocery store on any given night, it's a madhouse right now, and it affects me if I need to buy milk or eggs or bread. So, and I'm going to have to deal with that forever. So that's my choice there, the shopping.
Mark?
So I'm going to go with commercialism. I mean, not commercialism. Overspending.
What bracket are we on here?
Sorry, I don't have the brackets in front of me.
I'm going to go with
socialism myself.
I'm going to go with
yes.
Democrats.
I want to go with overspending. Like I said, it's sort of similar. Probably just because I don't really have that shopping experience right now, so it doesn't really bother me at all. I don't actually overspend that much, but you know, it's getting to the point in my family where I give my family gift cards, and then they end up giving me gift cards, and it's sort of like we could have just saved ourselves money and just not got each other anything. It sort of you know that cancels each other's out. So
you're going with overspending.
yeah.
Like what with shopping? I gotta tell you, I think shopping's easy. Online has everything. I am amazed out here. I don't have an issue going to the grocery store. Any other stores I've gone to around the holiday season, there's absolutely no problems here in DC, which is weird because I remember being in Flint and before I moved, and any store you wanted to go to was a ridiculous madhouse. It could be the local grocery store, but they also sell one random thing that there's 85,000 people in there trying to get as like a gift. For some reason, I don't deal with that out here, and I pretty much do all my holiday shopping now online because I scope out for good deals all the time, especially when I'm buying for people back in Michigan. I don't need to go out and get something anyway because I'll just buy it online and have it shipped to the house. So I don't find shopping as big of a problem, and I overspend a lot, and I don't necessarily just mean on the holidays. I look for more deals around the holidays for gifts for people, but then I'm like, oh, I want that, and it's on sale. So I end up overspending a lot on myself around the holidays. So I'll have to go with overspending as well.
Okay, overspending.
And
So that's our first round of competing for worst things about Christmas or the holidays.
First round is over. That was exciting.
Yeah, I think it went pretty well.
I would like to enter a late entry to this.
Late entry?
Just one? Do one of us have to enter as competitor?
For me personally, that jumps to the championship match right away, and that is third-degree burns due to Christmas lights around your neck. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these off.
Oh, the Christmas spirit's ruined. Like,
Yay!
It's never gonna be the same again. See, as a firefighter, the third-degree burns to people of Christmas lights to the neck are what keep me volunteered.
Well,
I would say employed, but I don't get paid, so volunteered.
Well,
You're
is there
way
like
too far away
a
from
huge
me.
increase in fires in general because of like Christmas lights and stuff?
No, I
No?
don't think so. I could be wrong on that, but I have not personally dealt with that in where I'm at. But I think since I've been doing this, LED bulbs are way more popular than they ever were before, and LED bulbs, like, they don't burn hot. So I think that problem has kind of remedied itself, and I think electrical circuits are made in such a way where you can't overload your circuits because you got so many Christmas lights on them because they trip a lot easier or whatnot. So I don't.
So what you're saying is that next year I need to buy a string of LED lights to wrap around my neck, and we won't have this problem.
Yes. You, however, could have the strangulation problem that happens with wrapping things around your neck. I don't know. It depends on how you do it. You know, maybe if you make a noose out of it.
So you don't deal with that.
I want this, like, I don't want this cord dangling. I'm just gonna throw it up over this rafter. Like, that might be a problem.
I would prefer not to accidentally do a snuff film podcast.
Well, it would never make it onto the YouTubes anyways if it was a snuff film.
That's true.
YouTube and their prudeness not letting me put
it right out.
Snuff films.
All right. Well, from here on out, this is you, Jeff, because I was really bad at keeping track of how this was playing out.
We only got two more rounds to go. Should be
Two
pretty
more rounds.
quick and easy. So we
Let's do it.
basically ended the first one. We had family versus excessive Christmas music, and excessive Christmas music took the cake. And so that is the first challenger for the worst Christmas holiday problems versus traveling and weight gain. Traveling. So we are up to excessive Christmas music versus traveling.
Okay, so I think this is an easy one for me. It's the whole traveling. I talked about it before. Running around like mad, trying to get your kids everywhere with everybody who wants to see them. The Christmas music, you don't have to listen to Christmas music unless you want to, pretty much at this point, unless you're Jeff, who has a coworker who shoves it in your eardrums all the time. But
You hear that, Lisa?
Lisa, quit.
I just threw out a name there. It was
Lisa?
not Lisa.
Lisa, knock it off.
But yeah, Lisa.
Not Lisa, quit playing Christmas music all the time. All right. But anyways, so travel for me for sure.
For me, excessive Christmas music versus travel. Mark, you might not even get a say here. I think I gotta go with travel.
Oh, really? Yeah, I think I'll go with travel as well.
Yeah. I mean, traveling
So
while
travel
listening to
wins.
Christmas music might be the worst, but
Wow, look at travel.
travel up there at the
Dominating.
top. Travel, you're dominating the worst.
You are.
You're amazing in the horrible way.
You want to know something strange? I just saw a statistic that says that for at least flights, the holidays isn't the worst time to actually be flying in a plane. It's actually busiest during the summer.
But is it not the worst time because it's the busiest, or is it not the worst time because it's the most expensive?
Oh, I think people hate traveling because it's the busiest, not because it's.
I disagree.
Well,
I think it's
as someone who would travel, I have family, well, in-laws in Houston, and if it weren't for the ridiculously inflated airline rates during the holidays, I would travel every holiday, no questions asked.
yeah, because I'm going to San Antonio from DC next month, and it's like $130 each way. But if I were to go to Michigan now, which is like a 1 hour flight, it'd be like $380.
Yeah, it's
So-
crazy.
Well, I guess.
So I think that's why traveling is probably less at this time, because nobody can afford it.
Okay, so traveling.
So traveling won. Next one, what's worse, cold weather or overspending?
This one is not even close for me either. Cold weather is horrible. I'm just throwing that out there.
Overspending. I'm putting this one
Overspending.
right on Mark because 1-1.
Don't hide behind the tree.
I'm trying to think of what's worse.
Obviously
cold.
overspending, but go on.
But like being cold, you could always do something about it. You go to a warmer place, you get a warmer bed, you could put on
Not
more
if
clothes.
airfare is overpriced.
Overspending, you can always just not spend money.
That
But if
doesn't-
No, but I
airfare is
think
overpriced to
overspending
get out of the
stuff-
cold, then why is that? Because overspending is the problem, or the lack of being able to overspend, which
Mark
I
is
believe
way
makes it the
too
same
smart to buy into your tricks.
I'm gonna have to go with overspending.
thing. Oh yes, I will not have my rolls for this bracket.
I take it back. The Mark is too smart. Take that right back.
See, last time I wanted rolls to win. This time I just didn't want cold weather to lose, or to win, I guess it would be. I wanted it to lose.
I was gonna say.
Okay, Ty, the final thing. This is not what I expected the final thing to be.
No,
But,
I was gonna say.
I guess it makes sense though, but I was not expecting it. But the final part of this bracket, traveling versus overspending. which is the worst part of the holidays?
Well, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to go first again, because for me, I think everyone knows which way I'm going since I tried to
Traveling, of course, right?
Yeah, I tried to vote out overspending 2 rounds ago, and I've been faithful to traveling as being a horrible experience this whole bracket. So I'm definitely going travel.
Well, maybe we're not all financially secure like you, Mike, but I'm sure as all our viewers might agree with me that the consequences of overspending is something that you have to deal with sometimes even longer than the winter season. So overspending
for sure.
would be much worse, because then you suffer for a much longer time. If you're cold, you just go indoors, you warm up, you're fine.
But at the same time,
Well, if cold weather was still on the table,
I'm trying to think at the same time, like traveling versus overspending, and we just talked about how in order to travel at this point of the year, you have to overspend. So that's interesting to think. Like, these are intertwined. So I don't know what Mark's going with. Did Mark go with cold weather, like which doesn't even exist on this?
Mark went with something that got eliminated last round.
So is this Mark's rolls? Is that what this really is?
I think that's what happened.
I'm still sticking with it.
And I thought he voted against cold weather last round. Now all of a sudden, the resurgence of cold weather.
Yeah, he did. He did too. He wanted cold weather out in the first round, or like it was his like. We've gone
off the rails.
So I don't know what Mark's really thinking, but
I'm going still overspending, over traveling. Sorry.
Overspending versus travel.
Oh no. Good times.
They're both like they both have their severe negatives. There's no question about that. I think you know what? I think there's a thought process of traveling that leads to spending more money around the holiday season that I would have to go with traveling as the biggest problem in the holiday, because you end up overspending to travel. And you can I overspend every other day of the year anyway, so I mean, why not just mix it in?
I could have sworn you said that you enjoyed traveling.
I started with the fact that I enjoyed traveling, and then I even told you after talking about it, I said I even talked myself into making it win that first round because I started realizing the implications of traveling in the holidays.
I feel like we checked out of this bracket really early on.
Somebody. I'm confused. You don't like traveling because of the overspending?
Yes, exactly.
Isn't that overspending?
Which obviously means traveling is the worst thing. Obviously.
So
I will always
overspending / traveling because of overspending.
I don't know what was
who's the winner. I
don't know what we figured out with this bracket. But
that I will eat rolls while traveling.
Hopefully,
we all agree Christmas is the worst.
Christmas is the worst.
As long as it was wow. Let me try that word sentence again. as long as it was enjoyable to the listeners, I don't really care what we decide.
Oh, Christmas extravaganza!
Yeah,
extravaganza.
We hate to travel, guys. Happy holidays. We'll see you guys.
Yeah, Merry Christmas holidays.
Merry Christmas holidays.
Kwanzaa, Hanukkah.
Yeah.
All of them.
Boxing Day, Canada.
And Festivus.
Happy Boxing Day, Canada. Festivus? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
For the rest of us.
Right.